What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Whacked Out E-Cig. Today we're looking at the NT-BVC P placement. Can you see that? P placement, not replacement coil. Maybe sort that out before you send out these to the masses. Anyway, what is it? It's a ceramic coil for the Subtank series. I'm using the original Subtank V1 right now with a bell cap on top, but it's just a regular Subtank Mini V1. As far as I know, all the coils for the Subtank series are interchangeable, so if you have the Nano, the Plus, the Top Tank, whatever, it should all work with this coil. So, pretty good there. Where did it come from? It came from a company called VaporDance. Now, I had never heard of VaporDance before they contacted me about these coils. And as far as I can tell, they don't actually manufacture these, they just resell them, but they brand them with their own logo on there. Their website is pretty easy to navigate, but there's nowhere to buy it on there, so I can't tell you the price, and I can't tell you if it takes a long time to get here or whatever. It's just a wholesale website as far as I can tell, but maybe hold out, see if vendors want to contact VaporDance and see if they can bring them in. Maybe you can get a try for yourself, but until then, can't really help you out there. Now, I said it's a ceramic coil, and I want to just say something real quick. I don't know the health implications of vaping ceramic. I just don't. What I can tell you is that in the past, if you take, for example, the original Atlantis, instead of cotton in the coils, they were using a ceramic fiber. Now, that's different from this because with the ceramic fiber, it absorbs the liquid into it, and then when you vape it, there was the potential, or at least the concern, that bits of those ceramic fiber were flying up into your mouth, throat, lungs, etc., and that's pretty scary to think about. The design of this is completely different. It's a ceramic casing that is encapsulating wire, just Kanthal wire, and so the wire heats up and then heats up the ceramic, and then it gets to the point where it's hot enough for the liquid to vaporize, but it's not cotton, so it's not going to burn out. But there is a layer of cotton around it, and I'll show you a picture of what these look like. I'll bring it up now. Because all you can see is the cotton, and it looks like a regular coil. It looks very similar to the new Kangertech OCC coils, but it's clearly different. So yeah, it has a layer of cotton, and I asked them, why is there a layer of cotton? And they just told me that it's there to keep the coil uniform. What that means, I don't exactly know. I can only assume that maybe if the cotton is not there, that ceramic casing can maybe fall out of place. I really don't know, but it's not really a concern to me. What kind of was a concern was when I first got these, instead of putting it right in a tank and vaping it, I took one of the coils and took it apart. Because I like to do that with coils to know how they're built, what's going on inside just generally. What I noticed was that when I pulled the coil head out, it's encapsulated into the ceramic, so it ripped out of the ceramic, and there was a big plume of ceramic dust, I can only assume, that came up into the air, and that was pretty worrying. But then I kind of stepped back and realized that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to rip the coil out of it just in regular usage. The ceramic isn't going anywhere, it's not going to fall apart. Ceramic is pretty strong. It is brittle, but it is a strong material. And it's encapsulated with a layer of cotton and stainless steel around it, so it's not going to fall apart as far as I can tell, and it's been holding up pretty well, at least for me. So yeah, that's what I did when I first got it, and then I popped one in and started vaping it. So before I did the review, I wanted to vape through the entire packet just to make sure that all of them were working, because that's included. I mean, you don't want to buy a brand new thing that you've never tried before, especially a pack of coils, and find out that only 1 out of 5 work, right? For this one, I've used 3 so far. This is the 3rd one. I still have 1 in the box, and I gave 1 away to get feedback from someone else. Haven't got it yet. Rowan, maybe tell me. Stop texting me spring roll sushi. So yeah. I've been vaping them, and they have worked really, really well. So let's talk about how it vapes. These coils are 0.5 ohms and it's reading right on the dot 0.5 ohms right now for me, and I'm vaping it at 40 watts because it's right in the middle. What I noticed about this first off is the flavor is nice, but when you first put it in and it's a brand new coil, it does take time to break in. The flavor isn't as bad as breaking in a regular cotton coil, but it is harsh because that ceramic is dry and you're not getting a dry hit, it's just like a harsh, scratchy throat hit, and it's not really comfortable, but once that breaks in, that goes away and it's just a smooth vape. Now the flavor is good, the vapor is clearly very good. I mean, this is an original Subtank, so it only has one airflow hole, but it's plenty for me, and I enjoy having decent airflow that still gives me a good dense vape with a lot of flavor. So the original Subtank Mini is good for me. It wicks well. The juice I'm using in it right now is Orangutang or Orangutan by MEO, Mother Earth Organics. Really nice liquid. It's a orange creamsicle, and it's pretty thin. I mean, I think this is probably a 60 VG, so a 40 PG 60 VG blend. Could be, I would say it's about that exactly because it does seem pretty thin. But with thicker liquids, it does wick well. You just have to make sure it's primed properly first, or else that break-in period is going to take a lot longer. Let's test out the wattage range. I'll start at 30 where it's recommended, and then we'll go up. So 30 watts, airflow fully open. Very weak. It's okay, but it definitely feels anemic. It's not as much as I would like it to be. I showed you 40 watts. 40 watts seems to be a pretty sweet spot for it. It's warm. It's definitely not hot. Especially for 40 watts, I would expect something a little bit warmer. But the flavor is still good and the vapor is still good. Let's try 45 watts. Now that is a really good vape. Filled my lungs. It was just the perfect temperature. 45 watts. It's very warm, but it's not hot. It's not scorching, and the flavor is how I remember the original Subtank Mini to be, where it feels like you're drinking the liquid. Spitback, funnily enough, has not been a problem with this. I noticed with sub-ohm tanks, one of the things I don't like about sub-ohm tanks, I get a lot of spitback. With this, it hasn't really been a problem. And vapor is just fine for me. Obviously, if you have the other Subtank, you're going to get more vapor because there's a lot more airflow. Let's try this at 50 watts, the maximum. Zero ramp up time, warmer for sure. Maybe a little bit more flavor. Definitely 50 watts is a good temperature for this. Obviously with 50 watts you're going to want something with decent battery life because first of all it drinks through the juice, and it's going to kill your battery as well if you're vaping at 50 watts all the time. Let's see how far we can go without it burning, and if it will give me a dry hit. So far haven't had any dry hits with it, but I've been vaping pretty conservatively so far. That was okay. The flavor, not really better at 55 watts. Maybe a bit warm for the kind of flavor that I like. This is 60 watts. Still no dry hits. I notice obviously the higher the power goes, the quicker you're getting a full lung hit of vapor. It's filling up your lungs, but it's not dry hitting, and the ramp up time is very quick. 65 watts. Still vaping fine. The flavor is starting to diminish now. The maximum I'll take this up to is 70 watts because there's not that much airflow on this. It would definitely be a lot cooler if I had the Subtank V2 with both airflow holes, but I'm surprised and impressed that this is holding up at 70 watts. Okay, now there. that was dry. Now, I can only imagine that with a pure cotton coil, with cotton instead of ceramic, that would have been a full-on dry hit. But this, it just tasted dry. There was no real flavor, and it kind of gave that kind of dry mouthfeel that you would get from a dry hit. But it did not taste like a dry hit, and that really impresses me. So we'll bring this back down to 45 watts, and we'll see how this holds up after taking it that high. Back to normal with good flavor. So I've been so impressed with these coils compared to every other sub-ohm claramizer coil. The main thing that made me excited about this and why I like this so much better is because it lasts me over a week. Now, every other coil I've ever used has not lasted me over a week. When it gets to that 6-7 day mark, running through average a tank or 2 tanks a day, it starts to burn out. You get bad flavor, it's not wicking anymore, you're not getting much vapor, and it just tastes bad. This has lasted me over a week. The only reason I've changed out the coils is because I wanted to try all of them, make sure that they weren't broken or just ineffective right out of the box. But as far as I can tell, these are going to last quite a long time. I would say at least 2 weeks. And that is just phenomenal for what it is. I can't tell you the price because it's not on their website, but if it's the same price as regular coils, I personally would choose to vape these over any other coil. If they made these for, say, the Triton, I would use these in the Triton because I really enjoy the Triton. But yeah, I find that very impressive, and I find these coils very impressive. There's not much else to say about it. One last thing that I like to look out for with tanks is if I vape through liquid with a coil already in the tank, if I then choose another liquid that's a different flavor, how long will it take for the liquid to transition? So how long will I be tasting both liquids mixed together before I can only taste the new liquid? Honestly, I haven't tried these out, but just logically I can kind of assume that because it's mainly ceramic, there is a little bit of cotton, but since it's mainly ceramic, it's not going to be absorbing that liquid, and the liquid has nothing to leach onto. So I would feel pretty safe saying that pretty much instantly you're going to taste the new liquid instead of that transition period where you kind of waste a few mils tasting kind of a strange mixture of flavors. So yeah, just pretty much nothing but pros for this. Thank you VaporDance for sending them over. And fix your P placement because no one wants a replacement coil, they just want replacement coils. Okay, now the review segment is over for the video. Let's talk about the Plumes of Hazard Eliquid line. Right before the holidays, Hazetown Vapes asked me if I wanted to do a giveaway for the entire Plumes of Hazard Eliquid line in 3mg, and I said yes, of course, thank you very much. Now, I did the video, and since I was going away a few days after, it was maybe 5 days. Personally, I don't think that was enough time, but that's all the time I had at the time. A lot of time. So yeah, I did the giveaway, something like 25 people entered, and the person that won it, Travis Odom, I think his name was, he never contacted me, so I was left with a blank slate, and I want to try this again. So in this video, instead of the review for this video, you're going to want to be a subscriber of the channel. You're going to want to like, share the video, and leave a comment saying why you want the Plumes of Hazard Eliquid line, and I guess what you thought about the Subtank ceramic coils. That's about it. I'm going to give you a full week for this one, and that means that next Wednesday, January 27th, I believe, will be the day that it will be cut off, and then we'll do the draw again and see if someone will accept the prize because it is really good juice. And if you do not win or you don't want to wait for that, I highly suggest trying out the liquids. Head over to Hazetown Vapes, the link will be in the description, and you can try it out for yourself. Really good price on American e-liquids in Canada. And if you're in America, you get even better deal because the Canadian dollar is shit right now. So try it out. Definitely worth a try. Good luck in this contest. I hope this time someone wins and someone accepts. that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.